Oh yeah, they're really good. All right, everybody. I'm hoping that the sound and the volume and everything is good. What does that button do? Oh, share. Okay. Let me try to watch myself. All right, so I just want to do a final what the casting call, curtain call, whatever. Just got news in what was that about? Yeah, about an hour ago. I got news in an hour ago that had one of the brothers in the group who wanted to join the webinar, and the webinar was telling him that um, it was to capacity, and I knew that it wasn't. So um, I called them. They're having a bug that they're working on in their system. So the workaround is to increase the amount of participation, the amount of tickets basically. So we literally have to increase the amount of tickets. So this is the last day to get in. So if you have tried earlier and it said sold out, that was a glitch. It's currently not sold out. We've added, like, I want to say anywhere between 5 to 10 more tickets. So get in uh now. All right. So I'm going to see. I can see y'all. This is being really weird. Okay, now I can see the chat. I'm gonna have to do this. Pop out. Uh, I don't know. It's doing some weird stuff. Anyway, yeah. Let me do that. Okay. Hey everybody. I had to do some weird stuff. All right. So just want to come on to make that announcement because it was pressing that we've got some slots available. So get in there. Let me see if this is yep, this is it. Y'all can get into the webinar with that registration link. Okay. So it's gonna be nice. I'm excited. Because a lot of you guys, this is gonna be your first time in a webinar with me. Y'all get to see the real raw, really uncut doc. So this is gonna be fun. I'm excited because a lot of you guys, I know your energy. It's gonna make it what it is, and I'm excited. But I can't wait for tomorrow. I'm finishing up some notes now, and finishing up some stuff for the Hoodoo Bible Study. By the way, if you have requested to be in the Hoodoo Bible Study and you haven't gotten a response or a reply or accepted yet, it is because, just want to itemize this, we accept new people in on Monday. So if you tried to get in and haven't been able to get in, wait till Monday. We'll go ahead and bring you in on Monday. All right. Those of you who are in there, I'm about to come on and do the Hoodoo Bible Study in about an hour or so, answering your questions. I've been just finished my notes for that. Where is it? Where are the notes? But I was working on getting the seats open for the webinar. So yeah, it's still $50, 7 o'clock tomorrow Eastern. I've been asked, will the replay be up? Not immediately. It's going to be at least a 2 to 3 week delay. All right. It's going to be at least a 2 to 3 week delay. So if you want to wait it out, you can. If you want to get it cheap, get it now. Okay. But it will be up later on. Hey, somebody was asking me about classes and things like that. Yeah, there's some classes online if you want them. I cover a couple of things that may be of interest to you. Anyway, I'm going to get back to putting out some more instructional videos. Not saying I don't like being with you guys here on a weekly basis, but I also want to make sure that I set a standard for instruction. And let me I don't want to do that. I'm going to do that. All right, but Center for Instruction, so that you go on and you can do the stuff for yourself. That's my ultimate goal. All right, is that you have a knowledge base, you can do this work for yourself. Right. If you've ever had a consultation with me about a situation, a condition, you know that one of my preliminary questions is, what have you done to help remediate the situation? Do you do baths? Do you burn candles? Do you have a mojo, etc.? And I hear so often, no, Doc, I was just gonna call you, and follow instructions. All right. I'm telling you, it is essential to have a regular spiritual routine, right? A spiritual protocol of some sort, whether it is feeding your ancestors. Listen, I don't care if it's feeding your ancestors, if it's saluting the Nganga, whatever it may be. If it's pouring out libations, chanting out offerings, doing spiritual baths, doing regular house cleansings, ad infinitum. You need to be who is this? Okay, yeah, he says possible bug detected on webinar registration. Um okay. Anyway, what was I saying? We're doing some spiritual work. All right. Something. One just to kind of give you some thoughts to consider. Um if you want to harvest, all right, if you come from an agricultural society, then you know that in order to get a harvest, there are three essential keys that all must be congruent and in alignment. Number one, the first key is you got to have the right seed. Number two, the second key is you've got to have the right soil. And then number three, the third key is you have to have the right season. All right. If any of those things are out of whack in the formula, you will not yield a good harvest. Right. Your crop may not even come up at all. It may be eaten by animals. It may be destroyed by weather. There's so many other proclivities that can undermine your yield for that year. All right. If you don't have the right seed, if you don't have the right soil, if you don't, if it's not in the right season. All right. In the same way. All right. As above, so below, as below, so above, as within, so without, as without, so within. All things are the same thing in different degree. All right. Just the same it works as the natural example, it works as a spiritual example. All right. Your worker's job, all right, your spiritualist, their job, if you've hired them, if they're working with you, it is to bring you the proper seed, right? What needs to be planted? That ritual, that charm, that fetish, that product, that prayer, whatever. All right. Because in as with any seed, all right, every seed holds the DNA of what it's going to be. It holds the blueprint of what it will become. All right. That worker, that spiritualist, all right, produces, creates a seed by way of prayer, by way of ritual, by way of whatever their methodology is. Hey, good evening. And if they've done their work properly, that seed is going to hold in its coding your objective, whether it's spirits they use, whatever. All right, whatever. Now, their job is to create the seed, produce the seed, sustain the seed, and then deliver it to you as the client. All right. Really, really, their job is kind of twofold, honestly, because they also need to be aware of the season. All right. Oh, it was my pleasure. Um, that's why you want a worker that's also a seer, or who has their spiritual sight enabled. All right, so they can also discern the seed. Is it the right time for your objective to be manifested? What I mean by that is this the season to keep fighting for that relationship or let it go? Just let it go. All right. Your worker should be able to see, baby, listen, it ain't even worth it. It's not even worth lifting your finger over. Because I foresee that in 3 weeks you're gonna be with somebody else anyway. Right? It's the right season. So they're there to produce the seed and to kind of give you insight on the season, all right, that you're in, and the season of your expectation and what you expect to happen to come to pass. Now, but you have a part of this. I never forget my mentor had a saying, there is no such thing as you do nothing. There is no such thing as you do nothing. All right. Because even though my job is to highlight the season, even though my job is to prepare the seed, it is your job to prepare your soil. Why? Because otherwise, it's magical rape. I'm not going to superimpose my skill set over your willingness to receive it. I'm not going to strong arm you into wanting what you say you actually want. All right. So if you're a spiritualist, myself or whomever, gives you a list of protocols to follow up to, during, or thereafter the work they're doing, it is your duty to fulfill that to the closest letter of the T that you possibly can. All right. Keep your soil fertile. Keep your soil fertile. Now don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. It's one thing, it is my fault. It is my fault if I deliver to you a sterile seed. That's my fault. But if your soil has not been turned over, your soil does not have the proper nutrients in it, you haven't been watering it on a regular basis, it's still got weeds in it, they're all kind of rocks and gravel, you haven't even cleared out the field. You hungry? Okay. You haven't cleared out the field. You are causing a resistance. It's a scientific word, resistance. All right. What happens? It impedes the movement of electricity. All right. I'm telling you, if you're working with me, I can speak for nobody else. If you're working with me, all right, you're gonna get instructions. And if you follow my instructions, it is written, if you be willing and obedient, you'll eat the good of the land. All right. Now, I'll be the first to tell anybody, I'm not perfect. I cannot, in good conscience or in good faith, guarantee you anything 100%. I can't. I can't. I cannot. All right. What I can guarantee is that I'm going to give it everything that I know how to give. All right. And because of that reason, I don't take every case. Let me just talk to the workers for a minute, especially to the emerging workers. In other words, you don't just feel a call to do, but you feel a call to serve. And there's a difference. Let me speak to you for a minute. Let me just drop some nuggets from my experience. Let me say this. Unless the spirit specifically tell you, all right, to pretty much quit your 9 to 5 to become a full-time spiritualist, don't do it. I'm just gonna give you good, solid, sound advice. Don't do it. It is my personal opinion. I don't think that any novice spiritualist should just start out throwing their sign out and you know quitting their job. I don't advocate that, and I'm gonna tell you why. For one thing, money doesn't change anybody. I don't believe that. My elders never taught us that. Money only exposes who you really were, right? Money just causes you to ask different questions you didn't ask before you had it. But what will happen is if you quit your job and you got a bill on the way, then you're gonna be fiending for work. You're gonna be fiending for clients. That's the only way you feed yourself. All right. And in doing that, you will make mammon your God. You will turn the stones into bread. What I mean by stones, I mean stuff that you should have left where it was. A stone don't move on its own. You got to pick it up and carry it. There are certain cases you don't need to be working. There are certain cases no spiritualists need to be working. I advise you to divine on if you should even put your hand to that work. That's why divination is so key as a skill. Should I even put my hand to this work? If you are a spiritualist and you're a professional spiritualist, then you have absolutely the right of DOS, denial of service. Denial of service. You are not obligated to obligate yourself, except at the spirit's permission and at their license. I'm telling you what I know personally. I've gotten myself in some deep shit. I mean, way over my head, being overzealous, being disobedient to what my spirits are telling me clearly, and it came out to bite me in the butt. I'm missing the left cheek right now because of that. And so if you are a spiritualist, you're considering doing work for somebody, divine on the matter. I mean, seriously. And let me tell you something. It may be a very benign, it may be a very easy thing. Oh, he just needs this candle. Oh, she just needs this bath. Let me tell you. Let me tell you. Take your time. Consult your spirits. All right. Do I need to leverage the resources of my temple to this particular situation? All right. Some plant, some water. All right. And I'm not saying that you can't help that person. All right. But there are more ways than one to help a person without you putting your hand to the work. I don't know why I'm going here. I don't know why I'm on this, but it's on me. There are some spiritualists out there going to see this and you're contemplating whether you should go ahead, all right, and go ahead and get that check. But what is it really going to cost you? What is it going to cost you? Do you work with your master ancestors? You know, I'm a real down to earth person. I'm really no nonsense, practical. So when I start seeing people put superlatives on stuff, an eyebrow already goes up. Like, master ancestor? Are they meaning the same thing as a root ancestor? So the root ancestor would be supposedly the progenitor of your bloodline, like the first ancestor. Okay. Basically the Adam and Eve, as it were, of your particular family line. Ancestors that have mastered this realm. And was told I was to pay a large sum to even get instruction on how to contact mine. Let me ask you something. Let me not go there. I'm in a whole other mantle right now. I'm about to say something I need to be saying online. To be direct, no. I don't know. Yeah, I'm just gonna be direct with you. I don't a master ancestor, that's beyond me. I'm quick to tell you I don't know. I know my lane. I don't know about no master ancestor. I know about root ancestors. I don't know anything about master ancestors. Are you talking about ascended masters? Is that what we're talking about? Okay. I was like, master ancestors. I never even heard of such a thing. Ascended masters. This is what I would do. Find what you can find out before you pay anybody anything. All right. Before you have to pay anybody anything, find out what you can find on your own. All right. And this is going to be a controversial conversation, but I believe in paying people what they're worth. I do. The scripture speaks plain and says, speaks plain and says, buy wisdom and sell it not. So I believe in that. Yeah. So I would do your research on it. If you feel that it's going to be worth the investment, that's what it really comes down to. It doesn't matter what the price is. Is it going to be worth the investment for you? Yeah, that's right. Workman's worthy of his hire. If it is, go for it. Go for it. But those will be my steps. Find out what you can find on the outside. Um, and then consider, is it going to be worth it? I mean, that's just a Taurus way of thinking. Is it going to be worth it? If you feel that it is, go for it. Yeah, but I don't want people to say, oh, that person must be reading from a book called The Lost Teaching of Jesus Christ. It's quite possible. Is that the book by Deepak? Peace. There's a book by Deepak. Oh, I need to do this. Copra about that. All right. What happened to the chat? There we go. Yeah, so possibly, I would check out the book first, check out the book first, and see if that's what you're looking for. But yeah, make sure that they are that what they're offering is going to be worth it to you, right? You have to look at it like this. Is this going to be a investment or is it going to be a expense? If it's going to be an investment, go for it. Go for it. If it's going to be an expense, wait on that. That's what I would say on that. That's what I would say on that. All right. So yeah, so if y'all are trying to still get in, as far as I know, the seats are still open. Because we had to add more tickets. I would appreciate if you guys subscribed if you haven't already. Share, click the bell. I ring the bell. There's so many. I gotta go do a checklist to find out everything you gotta do when you come on YouTube. It's ridiculous. It don't make no sense. Anyway, had a great time yesterday in class. We got a new student in, and she was like, "Whoa, this was a lot. This was a lot. This was a lot." But Elizabeth Clare Prophet, yep, she's got a great book on. She's got a couple of good books out there. She's got a very good book on the Book of Enoch, which we're going to be talking about tonight in the Hoodoo Bible study. So if you're interested in that book, the Book of Enoch, I got a question that came in to HBS about the Nephilim. So I'm excited to talk about that. If you have not watched the panel discussion I did with DVG, then check it out. Check it out. We talked about the Nephilim, creation, Genesis. Those are quite interesting. Are you selling the High John blends you made? No, I'm not selling that. But I am thinking about selling these extracts. Y'all been asking for them individually. Normally I don't sell them individually. I sell them as a kit when I do work for clients. But it comes with some other stuff, baths and things like that. But I'll tell you what I am about to sell. So you guys know I got a lot of extracts in, right? Spiritual extracts, spiritual colognes, right? Colonia 1800, Tobacco 1800, Vetiver, Gardenia, uh, Lavender, Sandalwood. Those are the ones that I got. Um, so I'm making some spiritual extracts from them. Working on right now a mastery extract. So it's gonna have master root in it, hydrogen root, some other stuff in there. So, but that's got to sit for 21 days on my altar before it's up to be sold to anybody. Um, Thinking about doing like a an auction or something like that. I don't know. It's gonna be a lot of renovating this month coming up into February. Spirit's already told me what I need to be doing, what I need to be changing around. So I'm working on that. Working on that. Camphor? No. What kind of camphor? You know you got the edible camphor, then you got like the non-edible camphor. Why are they playing it from uh from the shell? Why are they playing it from the shell? Yeah, it's hard to find real camphor these days. Camphor is good for so many things. If you're working with planet, it's funny you bring that up because my godson he called me Saturday, Sunday, must have been Sunday, and I was asking about the full moon eclipse. So I was giving him a working to really, you know, draw um, that current down, and so he needed camphor for that. That's so true. That's so true. But he brought the medicine out of the earth. So yeah, so camphor is very good for cleansing work. Camphor is good for protective work. Camphor is good. It is related. It is a it has a lunar vibration. So if you're working with the energies and the element of the moon, the lunar elements, waxing moon, full moon, crescent moon, all of that kind of stuff, north node, south node, which are points of the moon, then camphor uh, is your go-to. Is your go-to. Each of the planets have their scents, their colors, their resins, their incense. That if you burn it, it will it's a fumigate with it. All right, it will attune you to that particular vibration. In the same way that when you're listening on the radio, just like you tuned in to my channel. Think of it right now. Think of it. There are I don't know how many people right now on YouTube that are actually live right now, all over the world. But you tuned into my channel. I'm very grateful that you did. In the same way, all right, you can tune into a particular planet's energy. All right. This is what we were talking about last night in our Conjure Intensive of my class. We were going over angels, everything you want to know about angels, but we're afraid to ask. And we talked about how fast an angel is. We got an actual number for that. We talked about how strong an angel is. We talked about the how many heavens are there. There are far more than three and far more than seven. We talked about what the names of those heavens were. We talked about the 27 different types of celestial species of beings, that angels are just one of 27 different celestial species. You've got angels, and you've got archangels, you've got cherubim, you've got seraphim, you've got Iralim, you've got Ishim, you've got Hashmalim, you've got Kodeshim, you've got a number of different types um, of celestial species. But we use the word angel kind of as as a catch-all for them. We talked about that. We talked about specifically how to, um, work with the angels of certain planetary energies. And then we took that. We took the angel stream. We took the planetary magic stream, and of course, we took the Solomonic magic hoodoo stream with working with the pentacles. I don't have. Yep, I got one. Okay. Right. So this, for example, this is the third pentacle of Saturn. All right. This is the fourth pinnacle of Saturn. So we talked about how to call angels to not just empower but superpower your workings. One of the big questions I get is about, Doc, how do you work with spirits? And I tell them, work with your ancestors, and I guess that's going to become like a trite statement these days, but it's true. It's just honestly true. Okay. But they want something a little bit more nuanced. And I said, why not work with angels? People like, angels? Like, yeah, angels. It's a thing. People really, let me tell you something. People are sleeping on angels. Angels ain't no joke. Angels ain't no joke. Okay. Let me tell you. One angel, I'm just gonna give you a little, just a little teaser here. I'm going to do a webinar on angels. I don't know. That would be, I don't know. It's my goal to have a webinar every month this year. That's my goal. So God be my helper. We're gonna get it done. But one angel, not an archangel, not a Hashmali Makodeshim, one angel, or proper term is Malakim, has the strength of 185,000 men. So, yeah, don't sleep on them angels. Can the next webinar? No, the next webinar, I've got like 2 other webinars already scheduled what they're going to be about. So I'm pretty much booked up until about March with webinar ideas at least. Yeah, but that definitely can be a future webinar. And then yeah, I'll think on that. So angels are no joke at all whatsoever. So we talked about that, and working there with Mojo Bags. Yeah, so it was good. Thank you. God bless you. Thank you. I like to binge watch stuff too. I'm one of those kind of people. I get very I don't say obsessed, but I get very invested in a subject matter, and I will find that thing out, the length, the width, the breadth, the height, and the depth of it before I let it go. I'm that kind of a thinker. I'm that kind of a learner. I'm looking at everything from all angles. So yeah, that's what's going on my side here. If you're not in the Hoodoo Bible Study, y'all know, make sure you get in there, because next week, I'm gonna be bringing on a guest. No, it's not Dogon. People like, oh yeah, we all bringing on. No, be bringing in a guest to host the Hoodoo Bible Study with me. A prophecy webinar. I'm gonna be real blunt with you. I can't do that, and I'm gonna tell you why. There was, for me, all right, and the way that I teach and the way I break stuff down, I could not even I could not even get you to a starting point in 2 hours on prophecy. I can't. It's gonna be like real. It's gonna be like micro webinars. Like you gotta like break that. What you need to do is, doggone it. I feel like my uncle used to say, doggone it. What you need to do is just join the school of the prophets I'm having. All right. Just join the school of the prophets that I'm having. All right. That's where you need to be at. You need to be at. And because see, I believe, like the Bible say, that prophets are master magicians. That's gonna bother some people, I know. But that's in the book. That's in there. Because it ain't in there. Yeah, it is in there. Daniel chapter 4 and what? Is it verse 4? I think it is. You read Daniel chapter 4, verses 1 through 4. Daniel was not only a magician, he was a master magician, a master magus. So yeah, but prophecy is it's the oldest career on the planet. Silly rabbits, right? You know what's so funny though? Let me tell you something so funny, Ladybug. I've had people I've taught, and a lot of my, I don't say a lot, but I've had enough students who, when they met me, were outright devout, unequivocal atheists. I'm talking about a whole atheist. Not agnostic, I'm talking about a whole atheist. And let's just say they have a different of opinion now. I've had people who I need to write a book. I need to write a book called Hoodoo for Hoteps. That's what I need to do. I need to write a book for Hoodoo for Hoteps. People who were, that was their thing. That was their thing. Daniel chapter 4, verses 1 through 4. All right. It itemizes there that Daniel was called in, and he was called the master of magicians. So, and guess what? He was an angelologist. He was an angelologist, right? Daniel is a very interesting character. If you're working with angels, he's a person to know, because if you look canonically at the Bible, he is the first person, all right, in biblical record to decode angel names. Up until the book of Daniel, it just said an angel appeared, or an angel said, or an angel showed up, or an angel did whatever. Or you might get a little fancy and it say the angel of the Lord. And we talked about that, what the angel of the Lord is, or rather who they are. We also talked about what is it? So I think it's Psalms. I think keep saying 78, 76. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna show what I'm talking about. Psalm 78 and 49. We talked about what that verse is talking about. It talks about an evil angel. An evil angel is not a demon, it is not a Nephilim, it is not a fallen angel. It is a category of angels in heaven called evil angels. And we talked about that, what an evil angel is. Just being the lion's den. No. You gotta understand, Daniel was the man. Daniel was the man. Daniel and his friends, okay, Daniel was a vegetarian. Daniel, I mean, this man just broke so many seals on the angelic realm. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Uh, he tapped into the sphere of angels, of the watchers. He tapped into the sphere of the holy ones, or the Kodeshim. He tapped into the sphere of the archangels. He tapped into the sphere of the principalities and the powers over regions. Um, but you got to be in my class. If you're one of my students, it was the class from yesterday, Wednesday's mystery school. So here's why this is why you got to be an apprentice. You know, Daniel was it. Daniel served, I think, under like 5 kings. I mean, he was pretty much like the J. Edgar Hoover, just served under everybody. 5 presidents, no, I think no, like three kings. I don't want to be too deep. Like 3 or 4 kings he served under. And not only that, he was a real interpreter of dreams. I'm gonna tell you something. I don't interpret dreams. I'm not a dream interpreter. That's not my gift. That's not my calling. There is an actual gift. There's a real ability to interpret dreams. And when people ask me, do I interpret dreams? Do I know a dream interpreter? I only know one modern day dream interpreter. And let me tell you what I mean by that. That may sound precocious. Tell you what I mean by that. Daniel is my standard for dream interpreter. This brother was so bad. The king said he had a vision of the night that troubled him. Daniel said, stop right there. I'm going to interpret it for you. The king said, but I hadn't even told you the dream yet. He said, don't worry about it. Don't tell me anything. I'm going to give me a few days. I'm going to go in prayer. God is going to crack this mystery open to me. And not only am I going to be able to interpret the dream for you, I'm going to tell you what it is. King like, oh, you deep. Okay, all right. You mean, all right, you okay. You for real, for real. We'll see. So for me, if you're a real dream interpreter, I should not have to tell you what my dream was. I have only had a few moments of that grace, that spirit come upon me to do that. Now, a lot of people don't do, in my opinion, okay, IMO, dream interpretation. They do dream counseling. All right. Where you tell them your dream and they counsel you based upon how they understand or conceptualize what the dream symbols are. All right. Yeah. So that's my opinion. So don't come around me telling me you're a dream interpreter. I'm like, okay, well, what was my dream from last night? Well, tell me what it was. You can counsel me on it. You can give me your opinion. You can counsel me on it. You can give me, wisdom on it. But that's my standard. I have pretty high standards. Anyway, people who already people who already prophesy, then I probably can give you some things that sharpen within about 2 hours. If you already are prophesying pretty proficient, then yeah, that should be problematic. I think a lot of times people engage the prophetic in very limited spaces, and so they don't really get a chance to explore just how elastic the gift of prophecy really is. Um, it is definitely a realm to be adventured into, explored, excavated, and pioneered. There are a lot of spaces that will talk prophecy, teach prophecy, maybe even train prophecy, but they don't have an environment for the for prophetic experimentation. That true. That too. That's very true, Ladybug. Many folks counsel on dreams based on their knowledge of the dreamer's circumstances. Absolutely true. Absolutely true. Um, Now, I've had experiences where I was told what a person's dream was, um, and was able to interpret it by the gift of the word of knowledge. But that's not a resident. That I don't have the office of an interpreter of dreams. That's not my function. I'll be the first to tell you about it. I can count on maybe two hands uh, how many times that happened. Now, what does accompany my gift very often is dreams will show up as a sign of to verify what I'm saying. So, for example, I will prophesy to someone and say X, Y, and Z is going to happen. All right. And as a sign to is going to happen, you're going to have a dream about such and such in 4 days. Right. And so after that fourth day, and they have that dream, they know that, okay, wow, this guy literally just told me I was going to dream about it. And doggone, here I am having that same dream. Then I can look forward to what else he's going to say is going to come to pass also. So, um, had an awesome, yeah, yeah. I believe that is the goal of training. A lot of people are teaching prophecy, um, which is great. They're doing prophetic impartations, prophetic activations. Uh, that's good, but very few do literal prophetic training. And this is what I mean when I say training, because I train people. By that I mean you should be able to demonstrate your gift on demand, without hesitation. All right. You have that level of mastery, or that level of skill, rather, over your gift, over your ability. That's training. That means that you are given an exercise and you're able to produce on demand. All right. When I train many of you have gotten readings from my students, all right, that I train. And you can tell in the caliber of the reading, the prophecy, the insight, that they were trained, their gift was honed because they were picking up things with accuracy and precision, back to back to back to back to back. All right, that's because I trained the same way I was trained. It's the only way I know how to train. All right, I do to others what's done to me. I remember, because see, I can remember some of the old school prophets. You had to have the gift. You can fake that funk. You could not fake it. Uh, to get right. I mean, you couldn't fake, because them old folk would sit your butt down. They would sit you down and they would say, "Don't listen to him." They sit you down. They embarrass you. They would embarrass you openly, publicly, while you on the mic. They said, "Sit down. That ain't God." Oh my God, that brought back some memories. I had a man that go see that. Oh my God. Oh my God. Um, See, now I need to call my man of God tomorrow. Tell him I thought about that. He be doing that. People be on the mic like, "Sit down. That ain't God." That God did not say that. I mean, you be up there deep, got your real deep face, so you start rocking, and he will be coming right up to you, the mic, tap you on the shoulder. Let me have the mic. I'm so serious. So you really had to have it. You know, his motto was stand up, speak up, shut up. That's his motto. Um, I'm telling you, they pass it on down the road. All right. So could you touch on how prophecies differ from premonitions? Glad you brought that up. Um, it's similar to prophecy and divination. All right. Uh, prophecy is the, how can I put it? Let me separate prophecy and prophesy. One is a noun, one is a verb. Prophecy, if we're honest, is the opinion of a spirit. All right. It's when a spirit vocalizes or makes known its opinion on something. Its mind, its thoughts, its intention, its desires, its will, its counsel, its advice, its knowledge, its intelligence on a particular matter. That's what little prophecy is. All right. Um, a premonition, all right, is really you don't need the aid of another spirit. All right. Your spirit, we call it intuition. All right. That's one way intuition will manifest as a visual or a sensory precaution. All right. Like you have admonitions, you got premonition. Hey, Denise, I've seen you in a minute. Premonitions. All right. Uh, right. So your premonition should be admonishing you to be premonished, admonished, to do or not to do something. Yep. So I remember, let me tell the story now, I'm gonna get off here. I remember part of our prophetic training, right? We had to do the blind seer test. So they would, what they would do is um you would, there was a couple of things they would do. One of the things is they would, I can't show you, they would get a basket. All right, one of the prophetic trainers I went to, they would get a basket. I'm a real prophetic trainer. They get a basket, and people from the session, the audience or whatever, would put things in there like keys, something common like keys. All right, in the basket. All right, uh, and you, of course, you didn't see who put anything in the basket. You just came in later. They just gave you a basket and say, "Hey, prophesy." And so you would pull out one of the uh, objects or keys, and you had to launch and prophesy accurately to the person who owned that, right? The New Age calls that, I think they call it psychometry, psychometry, right? But that was back in the New Testament, all right. The prophet, the only New Testament prophet by name was Agabus, and that's what he did, right? If you remember, he took the belt from I want to say it was Timothy or Simon, but the belt belonged to Paul, and he prophesied, whoever wears this belt, you know, they're going to be beaten, put in jail, handed over to authorities, etc. He didn't know Paul from a can of paint, and it came to pass. So that's one of our trainings we had to do. Um, uh, they would sit you with your back to the person, so you weren't trying to pick up visual clues. You know what they call it a code reading. You know, right? Let me stop because I was about to go on a whole other. I don't want to make nobody mad. It's time for me to get off of YouTube. I'm getting cook up with y'all. I didn't go to Hoodoo Bible study and go ahead and finish this Bible study. But we did stuff like that. So we did like for real training, right? Um, I remember when my man got, he took me to see, my man of God, he was a rude prophet. He was rude. That's where I kind of get it from too. He was just in your face. It was what it was. Carry on about your business. We went to a church, and this pastor is a pretty relatively. It was a mega church, but it was a pretty relatively large church. I would say if you got like small church and then you got like mega church, it's about close to the mega church side, but not really big church. Anyway, so they had brought Prophet in to sit in on this church meeting, basically this leadership meeting. They had the deacons there, the trustees there, the accountant was there, all the pastor, all the particular officers of the church were there that actually did the business of the church. And they also had a representative from Wells Fargo about the mortgage on the church. So pastor wanted to bring Prophet in to get his counsel, etc. So they are going around this table, all right, sharing the minutes, sharing their notes, sharing what they have to say about business, what's going on with the taxes and tithe and all that kind of stuff, and what they're bringing in, the quarter, that kind of stuff. So he's sitting at the table. I'm sitting in the corner. It's a room, it's a square room. It's got this long business table. So I'm sitting in the corner. He's sitting at the table. Anyway, they're going around the circle, and so he gets to Prophet to introduce himself. He says, "No, I'll pass." Pastor, go ahead. No, I'll pass. I'll wait till everybody says what they got to say. So everybody said what they have to say, and so then it comes back around to him, and Prophet kind of leans back, and he says, "Brown, what's his name? Brown or Burt or something? I think it was Brown. I think it was Deacon Brown, Deacon Burt. Anyway, is that your name?" He said, "Yeah." He said, "You are a thief." He said, "You just bought a new car. You told your wife that you'd gotten a raise at work, but that was a lie. You have been stealing from this church. When I tell you the glasses of water could have cracked. Probably know these people from a can of paint on the wall." And the guy just started breaking down crying. I mean, just grown old man. I mean, had gray in his beard. I mean, just boohoo crying. And so the pastor looking at Prophet like, Prophet said, he said, "Don't fire him. Don't fire him. I'm not gonna do it again." He said, "Personally, don't fire him. But he needs to sell that car and give every dime of it back to the church this week." I'll never forget that. So those are the kind of prophets that came up under. They were like that. All right. They were like that. I'm telling you, them old timers did not play. Those old timers did not play. That's why I'm like, people like, you got an old soul. The old raised with some old people. I look at people like, why you get so fired up? Why you get so certain? Why you start ranting and raving? Because the stuff people call prophecy today is like, no, that's motivational speaking. That's motivational speaking. That's not prophecy. That sounds deep. That's philosophical. It's intellectual. But it is not prophetic. Not prophetic. Somebody asked, what about, I gotta get out of here. What about last thing? What about people? I'll answer this because Denise ain't been on a minute. What about people that do reading with tarot just by interpreting? Are they doing cold reading? I don't know. That's kind of a funny. That's kind of a vague question, right? But I talk about cold reading. All right. I teach my students what a cold reading is, what it is not. All right. And I tell them, okay, see, let me get out of here. Cause she know I'm talking about. My grandma used to cut all the lights off. LJ, you remember that? When a thunderstorm be outside? When the old here, listen, they cut the lights off, TV off. You be either praying or do go lay down. Everybody be still. Y'all hear the Lord talking. My grandma was deep. She would quote, she said, the Lord is in his holy temple. Let all the earth keep popping for him. Them old timers did not play that. They didn't play that. Let me get out of here. Let me get out of here. I'm gonna be in the Hoodoo Bible study. This was good. This was good. If y'all trying to get into the webinar, we still got some spaces left tonight. So you got about 4 hours or so to get in there. All right. In the meantime, between time, I hold you all in the light of God that never fails. All right. I'll check y'all later.